Good morning, everyone, and I'm Andy Anam. I'm the communications manager for the city. You'll find my press releases and my name underneath that, so I'm the one. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this momentous occasion. Today marks a significant moment as we gather here to celebrate the exciting partnership between US Venture and the City of Appleton. This agreement marks a significant step forward for our future and the possibility it holds. I want to thank both US Venture and the City of Appleton for their vision and leadership in bringing this agreement to the fruition. I am confident that it will have a positive impact in years to come. Now, to shed some more light on this partnership, I would invite our esteemed speakers. And first would be Jennifer Stefani, Executive Director, Appleton Downtown Inc. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Well, good morning. We are incredibly grateful for this partnership and for this transformative investment in this iconic building in the heart of downtown Appleton. The impacts will go well beyond these four walls. As the infusion of additional 400 plus employees into this already beautiful building will bring with it new spending in the district, and the businesses, the retailers, the coffee shops, the restaurants, they'll all feel the impact of this investment and this development project. Additionally, with the variety of new housing stock that we have here in downtown and creating that live, work, play environment, we're very hopeful that this will help to attract top talent to US Venture and to companies around the Fox Cities region. We know this development project will not just stop here, that the impacts will be felt for years to come. This is a pinnacle moment for downtown Appleton. And we want to thank US Venture and the City of Appleton for having that vision and working through all the details to bring us here today to celebrate. So thank you on behalf of Appleton Downtown, our board of directors, and our many members up and down the avenue. Welcome to downtown Appleton.
And now I would like to invite Mayor Goodford to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and what an exciting day for our community. Just a few minutes ago, we signed the development agreement between the City of Appleton and US Venture to help facilitate this project in our downtown. And on behalf of the City of Appleton, I want to express gratitude to US Venture and US Venture leadership for the partnership and collaboration. Erica, it has been a pleasure to get to know you and work with you, and to talk about our shared vision for what our downtown can be, building from the strength that it already has. And it's been really exciting to hear the experiences that US Venture employees who are working in this building are already having in our downtown. And I think it really speaks to the potential and what it's going to be like when even more colleagues join you down here in downtown Appleton. This development agreement was a long process. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of thought. But we at the city appreciate the commitment that US Venture has made to being here in downtown Appleton. Because corporations have choices when it comes to where they locate their headquarters. And where they locate their headquarters makes a real statement about the values of that corporation and the vision that they have, not only for their own business, but also for the community in which they decide to be in. And as mayor of the City of Appleton, I just have to say I'm so proud that US Venture has decided that this place, my own hometown, ought to be home for their corporate headquarters. And so, again, on behalf of the City of Appleton, congratulations to US Venture. Now that the development agreement work is done, the real work gets going on getting this building ready to occupy. And we look forward to continuing our collaboration with US Venture as you work your way through that project and welcome more colleagues to downtown Appleton. So thank you all very much, and we'll be happy to take questions after we're done with speaking. So thank you.
Mayor Woodford, and now I would like to invite CEO of US Venture, Eric Kessler.
Thank you all for coming. We're really excited to be here. I'd like to start off by thanking the City of Appleton. The Mayor Woodford and his staff have done an incredible job. They've been fantastic to work with. It's these public-private partnerships can be tough, and the process of getting to where we are can take a long time. There's a lot that kind of goes in behind the scenes in the sausage making. And it's been really wonderful knowing that we're working with a group of people who have the interests of the community always front and center, and working, they're doing the things that they say they're going to do. And it's just been a fantastic experience for us. And the mayor, your staff, the Common Council, we'd like to thank them as well. Obviously, the mayor and his staff can't do it alone. And so we got a lot of support from them. ADI, Jen, thank you for all that you've done, rallying the troops behind you. And the team at US Venture. I'm super grateful for the work that they've done. This has not been a light lift. And we're really excited to get to downtown Appleton. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to be here. Jen and Mayor Woodford have already touched on many of them, but the primary driver for us is the desire to make a positive impact in the community. And we know definitively that our presence here will help do that. It's good for local businesses. It helps create an energy and kind of a vibe in the community. It helps promote, other development, and often, eventually, that results in making the area a better place where it's easier for us to attract talent, like Jen talked about. So it really is one of those perfect scenarios where it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the company. It's a win-win for the community. And that's the primary driver for us for why we want to be downtown. Specifically at the 222 building, it's really about sustainability. US Venture is committed to sustainability. We're taking many, many actions to reduce our own carbon footprint. We are in the sustainability business, and adaptive reuse of a historical building is by far and away the best thing for the environment. It creates additional complexity, quite a bit of additional, and frankly, additional cost, but there's zero doubt about the fact that it's the right thing to do. And so we're enormously excited about that. It's a historic building. It's an iconic building in our community, and we're just really grateful to be here, and we're grateful for all of you and the support that we've received in the community, and like I said, from the City of Appleton. So thank you. Are we take questions? All right.
Thank you, Eric. Now we are open for questions, and once this press conference concludes, we will do a group picture.
I'm glad you brought up, obviously it's a historic building, very well known here in the area. I guess, are you planning to keep it the same name of the 222 building? Is there a plan to rework that at all into something new, or do you want to keep it as is?
Just procedurally, yeah, sorry. I don't do a lot of press conferences, so you guys have to bear with me. For sure, the 222 part of the naming will stay in some way, shape, or form. There are a lot of constraints that get put on us because of the fact that it's a historical building and it's on the registry, and we have to adhere to that. I don't know specifically around naming whether or not that is one of those constraints, but we think it's really cool, and there's no way that we would want to abandon that. Is there some way to incorporate in, with our brand? For sure, we'll look for ways to do that, but all of that still has to be figured out. So kind of giving you a non-answer there, I apologize for it. But definitely 222 will definitely be part of it going forward.
No, absolutely. Do you know when work will be starting here in terms of you guys kind of trying to get ready to make your move?
I'm hoping soon. We have a preliminary budget. We're going out for bid, so maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks to finalize that, and then it really kind of comes down to what's the earliest that contractors can get in here and get to work. There is a lot of stuff, especially on the exterior. I mean, you can see some of the renderings that we have, but you'll notice that the exterior really looks the same. We don't have a lot of options there, other than what we're hoping that we can do to kind of bridge the gap between us and Copper Rock. So it's, yeah, I mean, we're at the mercy of the construction schedules, but our hope is definitely that we can maybe get in here by the end of the summer.
And 18 months work expected to take, is that still about accurate?
Yeah, yes, it's probably about 18 months. I mean, I'm certainly going to push for faster.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, can you even discuss more like what kind of work that needs to be done here for you guys before you make the move?
I mean, you're asking the wrong guy, to be totally honest with you. I'm not enormously qualified to speak to construction schedules and construction work. What I can say is we are making an enormous investment in this building. So it's the preliminary budget has us slightly north of $80 million. I'm hoping to get that lowered a little bit, but it for sure will be $75 million all in. There's HVAC, plumbing. I mean, there's a lot of structural updates and upgrades that need to be done, in addition to some of the cosmetic things that we're hoping to be able to do. But it is a great building, and I also, I forgot actually earlier to thank Pfefferly, so maybe you guys can just cut and paste this, but I do want to acknowledge Pfefferly, who's been, is the previous owner and has been a great steward of this property, and also they showed enormous patience with us along the way as it relates to the closing. We moved the closing on them multiple times, and I think they should be honored. Giving credit for that. Yeah, I'm not sure if that answered your question.
Oh, sorry. 75 million you said, so that's about the what you see the cost as right now?
$75 to $80 million total project cost.
Okay. So what will happen with your Kimberly headquarters? Once people are moved in here, your however many workers, what's going to happen at that location?
Well, eventually we will plan to invest in it.
I know that you mentioned that it's going to be a lot of work to go through the remodeling structure of this building. For the businesses that are already here, will that impact their day-to-day work, or will you find ways to accommodate that in any kind of way?
We're definitely going to find ways to accommodate it. Keep in mind, we're already here as well. So we have a fair amount of people on 3 different floors inside this building today. We saw one of them on the way in at the start of this press conference, right? And so we will have to work around and make sure that we continue to accommodate those businesses as well as our people. And we're working with all the existing tenants to come up with a plan that's fair and appropriate. We want to be, we are and want to continue to be good stewards of the community. That's why we're doing this, right? That's why we're coming down here. We want to get closer to nonprofits. And so working well with our neighbors is right in line with who we are and what it is that we do. And, we'll figure out solutions to whatever needs they have.
I know there was at least one point of plan at the Bluff site that obviously, you are, I don't want to say abandoning that, but you changed course to over here. So I don't know, do you guys own that Bluff site property and know what might come of that now that you guys are moving in here?
Yeah, that's something that we still have to figure out. So we do have ownership of parts of the Bluff site, not all of it. And we want to maintain our optionality there. We're not, but definitely we're going to continue to work with the city of Appleton and other stakeholders in the community to figure out a great plan for that site. There's not, this project is not without risk. And so we've got to make sure that everything goes as we're planning it, that we're able to get in here, that we're able to turn it into what these renderings are showing, what our vision is, and that things work out. There's a lot of parking stuff that we still have to, kind of work through. But in general, we would not then sit on that property, for years and years and years to come. We want to see development occur in central Appleton. That's why we're moving here. And so, whether it's some of the outlots that we've also acquired as part of this deal, or the Bluff site, eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to work with, the mayor's office and other developers, and we want to see those properties get activated.
Earlier, you mentioned a big key part of the planning of your organization is sustainability. For what does that look like for you? If you could just dive a little bit deeper into that, just making sure that the longevity of this building is still up and running, it's not decaying or anything. So what is sustainability like? What details look like that for you?
Sure. Well, again, a lot of the details around the specifics of the building are yet to be worked out, but some of them I'm happy to provide. So, for example, the way that we reuse materials. That's something that we did actually in our current facility, in Kimberly 14 years ago. So we use a lot of recycled materials in our build out, reused, reclaimed wood, things like that. That's one area. Energy efficiency, we are in the energy business and driving energy efficiency, and we're in the renewables business as well. So there's all sorts of ideas that we have around that, around how we can actually lower our own emissions and our carbon footprint. And part of us coming into a building like this, as opposed to going out and building a brand new building from scratch, is because it will have a significantly less, or smaller carbon footprint. There are constraints, unfortunately, around what we are actually allowed to do from an energy efficiency standpoint due to the historical nature of the building. So, for example, we may be disallowed from putting solar panels on this building, which is actually, we view that as unfortunate. But that's one example. Another one might be the windows, where the windows have to stay as is, as opposed to us being allowed to put in more energy efficient windows. Those are details that we still have to work through that I don't really want to opine on, but I'm just trying to give that as an example of some of the constraints because of the historical nature. But regardless, other things like, a more energy efficient, plumbing, updated HVAC systems, all that kind of stuff, temperature controls, all of that's a significant amount of the spend that we're going to see for this project.
Eric, is this building on the National Register, State Register, or what? Do you know what the designation is?
I would have to look into that. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Working towards it.
Okay, we're working towards getting it on.
Okay, it's not on there yet, but you're working toward it. Thank you.
How many people are going to be employed or working out of here? And what is the effect of downtown going to be and the other businesses?
I'll defer that. I'll answer the employment question. The effect on the rest of Appleton, I'll defer to Jen and to the mayor. We plan to move in on, there should be about 600 initially, I should say, for us. Now, again, our company is growing, and that number may change by the time we move in. But at the moment, we're planning for an initial move-in of about 600. We will build to be able to have capacity here for about 1,000. The input, yeah.
As I commented earlier, there's definitely impact that's going to happen beyond the investment in the property itself. And as we see businesses taking notice of an additional 400 employees in our district, we're definitely going to start to feel that. And we hope that it additionally helps to attract new businesses to our corridor as we're looking for more restaurants and more retail stores, and how do we continue to expand on the vibrancy that already exists. But as Eric mentioned, they bring that energy and additional foot traffic and impact. So we really do think that this is that moment for downtown Appleton that will be a catalyst. In the general statement.
Just also to speak to impact of having additional workforce in downtown Appleton, one of the things that we've worked on through the course of the development agreement pertains to parking. Parking is always a question that comes up. It's like the free space on the city bingo card. Parking is always an issue. And what we worked out in this deal is a partnership between U.S. Venture and the city of Appleton where the company will be guaranteed the opportunity to purchase up to 650 permits for use in the green ramp, which is almost immediately adjacent to the building. And this does a couple of things. First of all, it helps us as a community actualize what the CEO was talking about in terms of generating additional development in downtown, because for a long time the 222 building has relied on surface parking to meet the needs of the occupants of the building. And by working with the city to purchase parking permits in the existing parking structures that the city has already invested in, it allows for some of that surface parking to over time get freed up and redeveloped into higher and better uses. It has the added benefit of infusing the parking utility with additional permit revenue, because these permits are going to be purchased by the company at the general rate, and that is going to make a huge difference for our parking utility. It will allow us to continue to make structural improvements and investments in our parking infrastructure and to improve the user experience. So the impacts are also direct and tangible when we talk about infrastructure. The other thing I'll mention about infrastructure is that when you have a project approach like US Venture has taken with this project, they're moving into an existing building that's already served by existing utility infrastructure on existing city streets, and that makes a big difference for us as a municipality when we talk about delivering services. So in addition to the sustainability benefits that Eric mentioned earlier, I would add that we're not adding burden to the municipality when it comes to delivering services, and I think that's an important point to note.
Mayor, I guess one other question I had with, in terms of the money, I guess, are you able to better confirm what the city's helping invest in with this project as well?
Yeah. I'll speak with some precision on that point. So the development agreement outlines a pay-as-you-go tax increment financing arrangement between the city and the company. The city uses tax increment financing to facilitate development projects. It's one of the few economic incentives that a municipality can offer in the state of Wisconsin, and certainly for the city of Appleton with limited resources elsewhere. But the interests of taxpayers are protected in a pay-go TIF model, in that the investment has to be made by the applicant before any increment is paid back to the company. So that'll take place over time. The base value for this project parcel, and the TIF value is determined after assessing the base value of a property and then the level of increment that is created over and above that base value. So the base value for this parcel is $12.9 million. The city assessor estimates that the assessed value of the project when it's completed will be about $29.3 million. I think that's an important point to note when we talk about the level of investment that the company is making in this property, in this project. You heard the CEO talk about the level of investment, $75 to $80 million on the project to get this building up and running. Ultimately, the assessed value of that property, that is the value of the property according to a market determination, is estimated to be $29.3 million. So we want to talk about commitment. That's a major commitment that the company is making, and we sincerely appreciate that. But in terms of TIF, we're in tax increment financing district number 11, and under the agreement that was worked out, TIF 11 or TIT 11 would invest nearly 90% of the annual increment created. That is again the difference between that base value and the estimated final value, and that comes out to about $241,000 a year, and that including interest at estimated at 6.25%. And so it's a significant investment from the community, but one of the things that we consider when investing tax increment financing support is that increment doesn't exist right now without that project. And so what we're trying to do is accelerate growth and development in our downtown, and by the time that district closes at the end of it, that full value comes back onto the property tax rolls and goes on in perpetuity as long as the building exists. So We see this as a wise investment of community resources and a great application of tax increment financing to secure this development for our downtown. Sorry for the lecture. Any other questions?
We can take one more question.
We've exhausted them. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
And we will do a quick group picture so that we can click this moment in history.
You and I, Eric?
I'm not sitting on end.
All right.
Where am I? Just standing like this, like the mafia.
I think they call that the big
We
league.
don't get more friendly here. You guys could run that through your skinny filter. I'd appreciate it. All right, thank you all.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your support. Thank you.